Neo stopping bullets and then stopping Sentinels with his mind are two of the most impressive moments in the Matrix lore. Neo became the one whose power transcended the simulation and the real world. But as we know, the Matrix is a machine's system of control that works in multiple layers. All of Neo's actions could have been manipulated by the architect. So what if Neo never had any powers? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
In Matrix Reloaded, we learned that Neo was able to manipulate the Matrix due to a special code he carried within him, the sixth person to do so in fact. This code, or anomaly, was the result of adding choice to the equation.
He stumbled upon a solution whereby nearly 99% of all test subjects accepted the program as long as they were given a choice, even if they were only aware of the choice at a near unconscious level. While this answer functioned, it was obviously fundamentally flawed, thus creating the otherwise contradictory systemic anomaly that, if left unchecked, might threaten the system itself.
So we were led to believe that Neo's powers were the result of this code. Neo was an anomaly that could control the simulation, but who also manifested powers in the real world, frying Sentinels with his mind. But there is a problem, an issue which is the basis of this theory. The anomaly, or the code that Neo carried, manifested itself within the simulation and in the real world, but not in the train man's construct. After Neo stopped the Sentinels in the real world, he fell into a coma, and his consciousness ended up in Mobil Ave. There he met Rama, Kamala, and their daughter Sati. In Mobil Ave, Neo did not have any powers. He couldn't defend himself against the train man, nor could he escape if the train man didn't allow it.
You don't get it. I built this place. Down here I make the rules. Down here I make the threats.
Since the train man has total control over the construct he created, Neo couldn't manifest his powers. You could say that Neo did not manifest his powers against the train man because the construct was not part of the Matrix. But that's assuming that Neo only has powers in the Matrix. We would still have to explain why Neo has powers in the real world. If Neo can only manipulate what is connected to the source, that being the Matrix or the machines, then he should be able to have powers within Mobil Ave, since it is a back door connecting the Matrix and the source. The answer points to one direction, and that is perhaps Neo never had any powers. In the first Matrix, we saw how the architect changed the simulation in real time.
That's what they changed. We're trapped. There's no way out.
The architect has this ability because he is the one who created the Matrix. However, he never again uses these abilities against Neo after he manifested as the One. If this theory is correct, when Neo raised his hands to stop those bullets, flew up into the sky, and destroyed the Sentinels, it was all thanks to the architect, who from behind the curtain modified the Matrix to trick Neo and the others into believing he had powers, all to maintain the facade of the One. Although the architect explained what the anomaly is and its purpose, it was never explained why the anomaly endows special abilities to the one who carries it in the simulation and the real world. This supposed manifestation of powers may be part of the lie of a savior perpetuated by the Oracle. But if it is the architect who manipulates the Matrix to make it seem that Neo has powers, how did Neo destroy the Sentinels in the real world? Again, if this theory turns out to be true, then the Sentinels are either being controlled by the architect directly, or they could have a security mechanism that prevents them from killing Neo. The Sentinels were fried, sparks emanating from the machines, as if an automatic kill switch was activated. Makes sense, since the architect needs Neo alive to restart the Matrix. The architect's control and manipulation might go deeper than just tricking Neo. He may have done the same to Agent Smith. But are there any clues that prove that the former agent was also tricked by the architect? Well, Matrix Revolutions left us one big clue, and that is that after Smith became a virus, he started to assimilate everyone within the Matrix. However, it wasn't until after he assimilated the Oracle that he had new powers such as flight, which allowed him to move more like Neo within the simulation. It is as if assimilating the Oracle changed something within Smith. She gave him the power to defeat Neo. It was her Smith-infected shell that fought the One in the final battle in Matrix Revolutions. Thus, this leads us to believe that all of Neo and Smith's powers were a lie, orchestrated by the Architect and the Oracle to fake war or crisis to further their control of the anomaly. This also makes sense. After all, the prophecy of the Savior was a lie.
It was a lie, Morpheus. The prophecy was a lie. The One was never meant to end anything.
If the prophecy of the One is a lie, there is reason to believe that Neo's powers were also a lie. More so when those powers did not work in a place that the Architect seemingly has no control over. In the end, not only were the people of Zion tricked into believing in a false prophecy, but Neo was tricked into believing that he had superpowers because of the prophecy. Though Neo always suspected that the Oracle wasn't entirely truthful, he did believe that he had powers. But it very well could have been the Architect pulling his strings. Other clues that indicate this theory could be true are the leaked images from the Matrix 4 production. Neo appears to have no powers and seems to be rescued by Trinity. He looks like a conventional blue pill. Neo doesn't have powers in Matrix 4 because he never had any powers to begin with. That is, if our theory is correct. This could completely change the dynamics of what the Matrix 4 may be, and our past perception of what Neo was, a supposed savior who was, after all,
only human.
But do you agree? Did Neo have any powers, or were they mere illusions? Did the Architect trick everyone into believing that Neo was special? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.